I am Jeffrey Rogue Kohut. This is my Potter's Journal for July 2024. It is Savinefest time. Okay, big show for me coming up. I'm the Slovenian potter. I don't know, third or fourth generation America, but I'm doing the Crafters Bazaar there. There is mostly just a drunken polka party going on with 5 or more stages at all times, Miss Savinefest. But there is a heritage center, and that's what we'll be making, the poticnica, traditional potica nut roll baking pan, cultural identity pot. That's what's in the kiln today. Let's see what is in the kiln today. So what is in the kiln? Well, there are always a couple of small shots. These are big in every market. But for this show, for this drunken polka party, we have got the E-I-E-I-E-I-O mugs, okay? I seem to remember this song in the 80s, in the 90s, blaring out of my grandmother's window to the picnic and patio shelter. And what is this show? 5 stages, 5 bands, a drunken polka party? So I thought we would take the E-I-E-I-E-I-O mugs, and I don't know what it's all about. One person sings it out, and then somebody else sings out the answer, the exact same thing. So there we go. This will be new this year. Last year, I only took the nut roll baking pans, the poticnica. That's what this is. This is the largest. This thing is huge. Okay, I can't pick it up closer to the camera, or it won't fit in the camera. But it has got those little dots in a dot in a dot. It has got a most elaborate slip trailing decoration, somewhat traditional and somewhat pulled from areas to the north and to the south. So yeah, my version of. But the first time I saw these, I couldn't imagine it was thrown on the potter's wheel with all of the altering. And I was brought up with the Peter Volkus idea of altering a pot. So this is all new to me. But this is the second year. Second year I'm going to be back doing this. So this is something to see. Not only is there a dot and a dot, oh, I will get out the notes. Let me look for my notes before I get to the next shelf and tell you, not only is there dot, but there are dots in a dot. And I counted how many there are on one of these. So it's nice. I can sit in a cold or a cool studio that's air conditioned in the summer doing that, or heated in the winter, compared to firing a wood kiln for 3 days. So this is a nicer way to go now in my 60s. I'm glad I did the wood firing back in my 20s. And that was 635 dots. This one only has 3 in the center, put on with little squeegee. I demoed how I did that on one of those bowls in the last video, so I will put a link down below. Little salt cellar and little table things. The Slovenian kitchen, a big thing. So even if it's a chip and dip plate. And on this one, I just set this right on the shelf, but on the big ones, okay, that baking pan, I put these little stilts down to make sure it did not stick to the shelf. Because that was a $150 piece for me. That's good for me. Your market might be different, and you can do better. Here we go, more of the E-I-E-I-E-I-O polka. Okay, this can be little spoon rests for the Slovenian kitchen, or little trinket or ring things for when you're baking and kneading dough. Apparently, okay, it's a big thing. No, I'm not the only one that doesn't know what it's all about. When I looked it up, anybody who watched the movie Grumpy Old Men sometime came to the video of the song to try to figure it out. I think they liked it. And the next shelf down, when asked at the show, are you Slovenian, or are you just making the pots? I can say, well, I've been listening to that music, that awful music, for most of my life, that American, I guess, Slovenian music. And there is a Slovenian polka, which is different than others, which don't ask me how to distinguish one from the other. I'm the Slovenian potter. My grandmother wanted me to learn the accordion, but instead, okay, I make the potica baking pan. Poticnica. I think she'll like that. So, another big thing for Slovenians. Okay, they're big on alcohol. So we just got an endless, an endless. And oh, here we go, some slip trailing on these too, the little dots. There were 635 dots on that one on the top, and here we've got some really more Pennsylvania scratching. But the tulip design actually goes through most all cultures because of the tulipomania thing from the Dutch. So here we go. They'll love these. They're big stack of shots. The other cultural trait, they're also good with money, which I thought, well, that doesn't apply to me. But then when I realized what a potter's income is, and how I've managed to live on it, when other people have declared bankruptcy and had to sell their boat and their yacht, I realized, okay, that might work for me too. Okay, we've got one more of the... Okay, and they do have the tulip on the back, more traditional, and then working into the accordion. So, you know, these are nice. I like these. I'm hoping these will make a hit. Last year I only took the potica pans, and I thought it was a lifetime supply, but in the end that was pretty much all I sold, and nearly sold out. But okay, let's get in here. So this year, hopefully, we'll add to it with the mugs and the E-I-E-I-E-I-O pots. This is as big as that one that was on the top, but it's just plain and not much decorating, because somebody might just want the pan to bake in. Now, this is huge. I can't imagine making potica that big. I actually like the smaller ones. It was the mid-size in my range that sells the best. And I sign them, I put a number on them. I'm up to now 55 of these, so I'll be happy when someday I can say, once I get to 200, I've made hundreds of these. I still have a few more, one more kiln load to go between now and Savinefest. This year I started making them. Okay, last January, so it's just now the big ones that I'm getting to at the last minute. So we'll try to get that last kiln load in this video too. And there's really only 3 more to fire, 2 small ones and a large. There must be something about this. It's in the blood. It's meant to be, that I have done over 50 of these, and they have all come out perfect. Not a problem or a flaw. It is now my Potter's Journal for July still, but it is a week later, and it is another kiln load. Look at the size of this thing. This is another big one, this time with the straight rim, and the Slovenian squiggle with the slip trailing around there. Oops, so yeah, around there. If my finger's in their picture that time. I've really refined the design compared to last year. However, these big ones, I don't know about this one, but the first one, I used an extra pound of clay. I went from 9 to 10 pounds, but they're actually an inch smaller. So I had worked up last year from small to big. This year I waited till the end of the session. I started working small to big at the beginning of the year, and then there was a break in the amount of time when I made these last big ones. So, you know, if you're making pots, you start somewhere and work up as far as size and design goes. Makes a lot of sense. Now, this is another story. We are going to get back to just a hint, these little pour things in another video, but we'll get to the bottom and see the last 2 of these before the show. Okay, one from the middle of the kiln for our Slovenian pottery show coming up, Savinefest. This one is not the bunt-like pan with the thing in the middle, but just a bowl or baker bowl that I've seen the potica or nut roll baked in pans like this. In fact, I did one. Turned out very good. This was a demo at a show made on a reclaimed, very light clay body. I usually use a darker clay body, but and look how nice it shows off the altering on the side. It's nice to see my green glaze on occasion on another clay body. And no matter how rough the slip trailing looks, somehow, okay, it comes out looking good. Once we get the glaze on, it kind of smooths and evens things out. Okay, somebody, not refined as and machine-like as you may see some slip trailers that are really doing a lot of pots do. So I think somebody said mine look very organic. I like that description. I don't think I'll work on highly refining it. I like it that way. It's the way Westmore Pottery did it. I forget how they described the style. And I did a video visiting Westmore Pottery a couple years back. But I've got two more of the, this time, little potica baking pans. And I like the small ones because if you give them to family as gifts or friends, you know, you don't have to give a large loaf. In fact, I even read etiquette is fine, I guess usually if they're made in a loaf pan, to give half a loaf on such a gift. But I like the small ones because even if it is a family gathering, you could bring out two and have a display of the whole cake, or whatever you call potica. And the symbolism here, okay, often served Christmas and Easter, is a crown of thorns. So, okay, some little part of the history I don't think I've shared yet. The rest of this kiln load is a story for the next video. I am all ready for Savinefest this year. I had 25 pots ready to go to the show. Here's this year's twist and turn, or this video's twist and turn. I thought this would be great to show the farmer's market, that I can do something else aside from pie plates and mugs, and mostly the little stuff that they buy and pick up there, that I can do something like this, not just one, but a whole row of them, 25. Well, I took them, I lined them up from small to large one side of the truck. What I hadn't thought about was I might sell them before I get to the show, before I get to the Savinefest, before I get to the market I made them for. I sold 4 that day. Mostly I think they had Slovenian culture in their background. So I may be a little bit short for the show. We'll see. So I'll say stop back and see what's going on in the studio next week, and I will close you out with a look at the table with the only 21 of them.